I was very recently at a concert venue in my hometown of Burlington, Vermont, and I was seeing a band that is called The World is a Beautiful Place, and I Am No Longer Afraid to Die. And they had a band that was opening for them that I had never heard of prior to attending the show called Bent Knee. And I ended up being so impressed by their performance that I was like, hey, I'm going to go buy some merch after the show. These guys are really good. And they had sweatshirts for sale, hooded sweatshirts for $30. And I was like, hey, that's not bad. So I go to buy it. While I'm in line, I'm next up. And at this time, I'm wearing my Dark Order beanie that I got at ProWrestlingTees.com. So I get up to the merch line, and I'm talking to the guy who's selling the merch. I buy the sweatshirt, and he looks at me, and he's like, hey, man. And he throws his right hand up, doing the claw, and he says, join the Dark Order. I was like, yo, and I throw my hand up, reflecting his, and I was like, hey, man, join Dark Order. Rest in peace, Brody Lee. And he's like, oh, man, Big Rig, I miss him. And I was like, oh, I wish I could show you the Ultimo Dragon tattoo I got on my thigh. And he was like, yo, pulls his sleeve down and shows me that he's got a Cactus Jack tattoo right there on his arm. But unfortunately, there was a line of people waiting to buy merch. I was like, oh, man, I wish we could talk more. I know we go on. And we were talking about how we want Hangman to win the world title. And it was a good time. I was not expecting to see a wrestling fan, let alone meet a wrestling fan selling merchandise at an emo rock show in Burlington, Vermont, because there's not a lot of wrestling fans here.
And not only a wrestling fan, but a diehard wrestling fan. And I played this because I feel we all have had some of these interactions. And if we haven't, we all wish we had some of these interactions. It's a little different from me now that I'm in the wrestling industry. But I would say before I got into the wrestling industry, this probably would have been a dream to meet a like-minded person at such a random place. I titled this call, Emo Meet Cute Broship. Sounds about right. It's like you two fell in love over the Dark Order, I would say. I would say I had a lot to do with it. Sometimes I hear online or on social media the loneliness of a wrestling fan and how this community can bring us all together somehow. And in a small town like this, that's all it takes is just wearing your t-shirt around or your beanie. And maybe that's like a secret handshake or a little wink to anyone who might be a little like-minded. And it's a good way to stop some loneliness, make some friends, make a bond, just get some everyday communication. That's always nice. So I'm glad I could help as part of the Dark Order. I'm glad we could help as part of the wrestling community. And I'm glad another community, the emo hardcore rock scene, also helps to contribute making wrestling great. Hey, thanks for watching. That call was part of a whole podcast called Wrestling Anonymous. Listen to the whole thing weekly wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go subscribe. And while you're at it, subscribe right here on YouTube to Colt Cabana's channel. Thank you.